How's it going, guys? HoopsMD here with a fresh and exciting video. As you already know by reading the title, I have a very early prediction of who I think will take home the national championship at the end of this season. That's right, the Kansas Jayhawks. Now I'm going to break this down into three main reasons why the Jayhawks will win their fourth national title. Be sure to like and subscribe. Roll it.
Timeout. Decide not to. 3 seconds at middle. Use it. Curry. Way downtown. Gives it to Jenkins.
The first main part of why I think the Jayhawks are going to go the distance is because of their conference play. They play in the Big 12, which arguably could be the best conference in college basketball this season. They face tough competition week in and week out with teams such as TCU, West Virginia, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, and many others. But as tough as their competition has been, they have definitely stood their ground. So far, they have a 15-3 overall record and a 5-1 record in the Big 12, putting them on top of the conference. They have had good notable wins against Kentucky, Texas, Texas Tech, TCU, and most recently a 71-66 win over number 6 West Virginia. Currently, the Jayhawks sit at the number 10 spot in the nation, but they're quickly rising, and they're going to keep going up, hopefully. The reason their conference play is such a big part of their success is because they're constantly having to play these tough teams. You know, when you're playing TCU and West Virginia and all these teams that have talent and defense and they play with heart, it's going to make your team better. Because if you waltz into the tournament with an easy schedule, then face Duke or face Kentucky or Tennessee, you're going to have a really tough time facing those talented teams if you haven't faced talent before you. And the Big 12 is certainly the right place to find talent this year in the NCAA. Also, if Kansas can prove themselves in the Big 12, they can prove themselves anywhere. The Big 12 has some of the top talent in the country, with players such as Trae Young from OU, who has lit it up from 3 this year, Keenan Evans from Texas Tech, and even Mo Bamba from Texas. Come tournament time, Kansas will have proved itself as a legit contender. Second off is the quality that Kansas has in both its wins and its players. As I mentioned earlier, they have already taken down Kentucky, Texas Tech, and West Virginia, just to name a few. But they also have Oklahoma 2 more times, along with rematches with West Virginia and Texas Tech on the schedule. This will give Coach Bill Self and his squad a good chance to show their talent. But to win these games, Kansas needs clutch players, and believe me, they have them. If you haven't heard of Sviatoslav Mikhalik, you might want to get familiar. The 6'8" guard has a butter shot from 3, hitting 48% of his shots from deep, and it's not like he isn't getting better year to year. Last season, his 3-point percentage was only 39%, and since last year, he has brought his points per game from 9.8 up to 16.6, a huge improvement. Also, be on the lookout for Devontae Graham on the court. The senior is averaging 18.3 points, 7.3 assists, and 3.4 rebounds a game for Kansas, alongside his talented Ukrainian partner. Also sneaking under the radar a bit is Malik Newman. He was an extremely hyped player coming out of high school, and Malik committed to Mississippi State, which really shocked many people because of his freakish athleticism and his ability to just get a bucket. After his 1 year at Mississippi State, he just decided to transfer to Kansas, and he has already relatively had a nice impact as a sophomore. Against Iowa State, he even dropped a cool 27 points, and he could definitely be a big threat during the tournament, so teams are not going to want to sleep on him. Now, my third and final reason of why the Jayhawks will win the national championship this season is kind of one that people didn't see at the start of the season. It's Kansas' secret weapon that Bill Self has coming off the bench for unlikely reasons. Billy Preston is a 6'10" monster and an athletic freak. In high school at Oak Hill Academy, Preston was a man amongst boys with 15.3 points per game and 10.4 rebounds per game. And that, I know that doesn't sound like much, but it was at one of the top prep schools in the country. He was a McDonald's All-American, ranked number 1 in the state of Virginia, and a 5-star recruit. So why has he not played a single game? Surprisingly, it is not because of injury, but because of a disciplinary issue at Kansas. Before the team's season opener, he missed curfew and class, which caused Preston to face consequences. Then, he was involved in a single vehicle car crash, and the university has conducted an investigation into, quote, a clearer financial picture specific to the vehicle. Although Preston's absence has been covered in mystery, the good news for Kansas is that Preston is healthy, and Coach Bill Self has been saying that Preston will return sooner rather than later. With Preston on the team, if everything works right, it could take Kansas to the next level in terms of depth and talent on the court. And that's all. Comment down below who you think will be national champions this year. If you haven't already, be sure to follow my Twitter page @hoopsmd_ for basketball content and shoutouts. I'm out.